Imagine a world map. Now, erase the United States. It's a stark image, a world unburdened and unshackled from the superpower. But into this void, new forces would surge. Without the USA, the global chessboard shifts dramatically. China, with its economic might and burgeoning military, would likely ascend to superpower status. Russia, no longer contained by a Western counterweight, could assert dominance over its neighbours. The European Union, potentially more unified in the face of external pressures, might emerge as a significant player on the world stage. The absence of the USA would reverberate through international institutions. The United Nations, conceived with the US at its core, would likely be a vastly different entity. NATO, the cornerstone of Western military alliance, might never have existed, leaving Europe vulnerable. The world without the US is a world of shifting alliances, power vacuums, and new geopolitical realities. It's a world ripe for both cooperation and conflict, where the old rules no longer apply. The US economy, a $25 trillion behemoth, casts a long shadow. Remove it, and the global financial system shudders. Without the US dollar as the world's reserve currency, new contenders would emerge. The euro, the yuan, or perhaps even a new digital currency could rise to prominence. China, with its vast manufacturing capacity and growing consumer market, could become the world's economic engine. The European Union, with its established financial institutions and high-value industries, could also be a major player. Without the stabilizing influence of the US economy, the world could be prone to more frequent and severe economic crises. Trade wars, currency manipulations, and protectionist policies could become commonplace. The absence of American consumerism would have its own impact. Global demand for goods and services would shift, creating new winners and losers in the global marketplace. Silicon Valley, the heart of American technological innovation, might never have existed without the US. Companies like Apple, Microsoft, Google, and Amazon, synonymous with the digital age, might never have been born. In their place, a different technological landscape would emerge. Perhaps Europe, with its strong engineering traditions and research institutions, would become the new hub of innovation. Or maybe China, with its vast pool of engineers and its government's focus on technological development, would take the lead. Space exploration, a field often spearheaded by the US, would likely see a different trajectory. Russia, with its long history in spaceflight, and China, with its ambitious space program, might become the dominant players in the cosmos. The Internet, a technology with deep roots in American research, might have evolved differently. Without the US, would it be a more fragmented, less interconnected network, or would it be a more tightly controlled, less free space? Section 4. The arsenal of democracy, silenced military might, and global security. The US military, the world's most powerful, casts a long shadow. Without it, the global balance of power would be fundamentally altered. NATO, the cornerstone of Western military alliance, would likely not exist. Europe, potentially facing a more assertive Russia, would have to find new ways to ensure its security. Regional conflicts, often contained or influenced by US involvement, could escalate more easily. Without the threat of American intervention, rogue states and aspiring hegemons could act with greater impunity. The global arms race might take a different course. Without the US as a technological leader, other nations might prioritize different military capabilities. Cyber warfare, space-based weapons, and artificial intelligence could become even more prominent features of future conflicts. The absence of the US military would leave a void. Whether this void would be filled by a more cooperative international order or a more chaotic and dangerous world is a question that hangs heavy in the air. Section 5. The different cultural tapestry, from Hollywood to human rights. American culture, from Hollywood movies to blue jeans, has permeated the globe, but in a world without the US, a different cultural landscape would emerge. Hollywood, the global entertainment juggernaut, would not exist. The world would look to other sources for movies, music, and television. The civil rights movement, a pivotal moment in the fight for equality, would not have unfolded in the same way. The global struggle for human rights might have taken a different course, with other nations and movements taking the lead. The concept of the American dream, the idea that anyone can achieve success through hard work and determination, might not resonate with the same power. Different values, different aspirations, and different definitions of success might take hold. The world without American cultural influence would be a world of diverse and vibrant cultures, each with its own unique voice and perspective. It would be a world less homogenized, less Americanized, and perhaps more interesting. Section 6. The butterfly effect, ripples through time and everyday life. Remove the US from the equation, and history unfolds along a different path. The World Wars, the Cold War, the rise of globalization, all would have transpired differently. Would another nation have stepped up to confront Nazi Germany in World War II? Would the Cold War have been a conflict between the Soviet Union and a united Europe? Would globalization have taken a different form, driven by different forces? The everyday lives of people around the world would be subtly and in some cases profoundly different. The food we eat, the clothes we wear, the music we listen to, the technologies we use, all bear the imprint of American influence. Without it, our world would be a different place, a tapestry woven with different threads, a story told in a different voice. The absence of the US would leave a void, a blank space on the canvas of history. What would fill that void? What new possibilities, what new challenges, what new stories would emerge? These are questions that spark the imagination and challenge us to envision a world beyond the familiar horizons.